A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. London. A significant clash unfolded on Saturday as anti-immigrant and anti-racism demonstrators faced off outside the Thistle City Barbican Hotel in central London, where asylum seekers are currently housed. Several hundred protesters, waving Union Jacks, gathered to demand the closure of the hotel as a refuge for migrants, chanting slogans such as "Scum" and "Britain is full." The atmosphere was charged as police worked diligently to separate the anti-immigrant group from a larger contingent of counter-protesters who rallied under the banner "Refugees are welcome here." Inside the hotel, asylum seekers looked on from the windows, with some responding to the protests by waving and blowing kisses. This latest demonstration is part of a growing trend of protests against asylum seekers across the UK, particularly in towns like Epping. There, tensions flared following allegations against an asylum seeker, igniting fears within local communities. Critics of the protests argue that they have been fueled by misinformation and the presence of far-right groups who have sought to capitalize on public fears. The protests come on the heels of a turbulent year marked by anti-immigrant riots across England and Northern Ireland, where crowds attacked hotels housing migrants and targeted mosques and police stations. The unrest was largely sparked by misinformation surrounding the tragic stabbing of 3 girls in Southport, which falsely implicated a migrant as the attacker. In reality, the perpetrator was a British-born teenager, highlighting the dangers of misinformation in escalating tensions. Experts warn that the current climate of anger, fear, and political agitation could lead to further violence, despite recent protests being relatively small and peaceful. The Metropolitan Police have implemented strict measures to manage the protests, including imposing conditions to prevent serious disorder and ensuring the safety of all involved. Officers have been instructed to intervene at any sign of criminal activity, emphasizing the importance of maintaining order while respecting the right to protest. As the protests unfolded, the police reported several arrests, primarily for breaching conditions set under the Public Order Act. Among those detained was a man clad in an England football shirt who became involved in an altercation with law enforcement. The police had designated specific areas for both groups to gather, with the anti-asylum protest restricted to King Charles Square and the counter-protest situated nearby on Lever Street. The counter-protest was organized by local branches of Stand Up to Racism, garnering support from community groups including Finsbury Park Mosque and Labour Party members. Former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn also lent his voice to the counter-protest, reinforcing the message of solidarity with asylum seekers. As the situation continues to develop, the underlying issues surrounding migration and asylum seekers remain contentious topics in British society. The government is legally obligated to provide accommodation for destitute asylum seekers while their claims are processed, a responsibility that has led to an increase in the use of hotels for this purpose since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. While the number of asylum seekers residing in hotels has decreased recently, the debate over their presence and safety concerns persists. Further protests are anticipated across the country, with Newcastle also seeing demonstrations against asylum seekers. As sentiments around immigration continue to polarize communities, the need for constructive dialogue and understanding is more crucial than ever. The events in London serve as a reminder of the complex dynamics at play in the ongoing conversation about immigration, safety, and community integration in the UK. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.